In the glittering world of Hollywood entertainment, Van Johnson once stood as an icon of optimism and the quintessential all-American boy. But behind that radiant smile and flawless public image lay a life filled with complexity and secrets buried for decades. Now, the curtain is slowly being drawn back, revealing personal depths few ever suspected, painting a portrait of a star who was much more than just a dazzling presence on the silver screen. Public image, the all-American boy. When you think of Hollywood's golden age, Van Johnson stands out as an indispensable icon. He quickly rose to the top ranks of MGM, a legendary film studio. From the 1940s, with his fiery red hair, bright smile, and athletic looks, Johnson was carefully crafted into the perfect boy next door, an image every American family would have wanted for their son. He wasn't overly flashy or mysterious, but rather approachable, sincere, and always full of positive energy. Johnson's career soared during World War II. While many other stars joined the military, he was excused from service due to a severe car accident that left a noticeable scar on his forehead. This ironically only strengthened his image with the public. He became a symbol of the soldier who couldn't fight, but remained resilient, a quiet hero on the home front. His films, often light-hearted, cheerful stories or morale-boosting war movies, brought hope and entertainment to a nation enduring wartime. Works like A Guy Named Joe, 1943, where he co-starred with Irene Dunne, or 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, 1944, solidified his image as a brave, lovable Johnson. He easily portrayed characters with kind hearts, firm resolve, and an unwavering, optimistic spirit, even in the most difficult circumstances. It was this consistent portrayal that made the public believe the Van Johnson on screen was exactly the same as the Van Johnson in real life, a simple, honest man always looking forward. This was a perfect facade created by Hollywood and diligently maintained by him, hiding far more complex stories waiting to be uncovered. Cracks in the facade. While Van Johnson dominated the silver screen with his cheerful, approachable image, few realized the immense pressure hidden behind that bright smile and flawless exterior. Hollywood back then, especially a powerful studio like MGM, didn't just make films, they manufactured star images. Every aspect of an actor's life was tightly controlled, from their clothes and public statements to their personal relationships. For Van Johnson, who was positioned as a symbol of innocence and moral uprightness, this burden was heavier than ever. He not only had to act brilliantly in front of the camera, but also maintain the role of the perfect all-American boy, even when the cameras stopped rolling. Despite being praised as one of the most approachable and friendly stars, there were subtle signs of cracks that only keen observers or those close to him might have noticed. Occasionally, in certain roles, Johnson seemed to try and break free from his established mold. He attempted to portray more complex, edgier characters, but these efforts were often dismissed or adjusted by producers to fit his safe image. This yearning to challenge himself artistically may have been suppressed, leading to simmering dissatisfaction. Not just on screen, but even in his personal life, unusual signals sometimes appeared. There were whispers of Johnson's erratic temper or sudden mood swings behind the scenes, a stark contrast to the always happy, energetic image he presented to the public. However, such information was usually quickly dismissed, attributed to the pressures of fame or simply artistic temperament. The film industry at the time had an incredibly effective cover-up mechanism. Any behavior deemed inappropriate or potentially damaging to a star's image was suppressed, from extramarital affairs to more serious personal issues. Having to live a double life, on one hand, a beloved public icon, and on the other, a person with hidden internal struggles, undoubtedly created an enormous psychological burden. The constant fear that his secrets would be exposed, that his carefully constructed image would collapse, likely haunted Johnson for many years. His personal hidden corners, whether related to his sexual orientation, Mental health issues or complicated relationship troubles all had to be kept tightly under wraps beneath the glamorous facade. This suppression and concealment transformed those initial small cracks into deeper fissures within him, waiting for the right moment to be revealed and paint a fuller, more truthful portrait of the man. Personal revelations that move fans to tears. For decades, Van Johnson's image as a symbol of innocence and optimism held firm a strong wall built by Hollywood itself and the strict social norms of the time. However, after his passing in 2008, and especially in recent years as researchers and biographers gained deeper access to his personal archives, letters, and interviews with those truly close to him, that curtain has slowly been pulled back. It's revealing a much more raw and complex truth. His personal hidden depths weren't just small secrets. They were core aspects that shaped who he was forced to be concealed beneath a glamorous facade. Central to these revelations is Johnson's sexual orientation. He was gay. During the golden age of Hollywood, the 1930s, 1950s, for a star to be openly gay was not only forbidden, but would have meant a tragic end to their career. Conservative society and the powerful film industry simply would not accept anything that deviated from the established masculine or feminine norms. To protect valuable stars, studios often arranged lavender marriages, fake marriages, usually between a gay man and a lesbian woman, or a heterosexual person who agreed to cooperate. Johnson's case is a classic and tragic example. His marriage to Eve Abbott, the ex-wife of his best friend, actor Keenan Wynn, is the clearest evidence. Although the marriage lasted over 20 years, from 1947 to 1968, and they had a daughter together, according to Eve Abbott's own accounts in her later life interviews, and through subsequent documents, it was actually an arrangement. Eve once revealed that MGM had arranged the marriage to protect Johnson's image from rumors about his homosexuality. She admitted that their marriage was totally sexless, a setup so both could maintain a public life without suspicion. Having to live in a marriage without true love, maintaining a perfect family in the public eye while denying his true self undoubtedly caused immense psychological pressure and constant inner torment for Johnson. This was an invisible burden he carried every single day, hidden behind that bright smile on screen. Besides the issue of his sexual orientation, new documents also hint at signs of mental health struggles Johnson may have experienced. The constant pressure to play someone he wasn't living under constant public and industry scrutiny, combined with the inherent loneliness of celebrity life, could have led to periods of depression, anxiety, or other psychological issues. While there's no publicly confirmed clinical diagnosis, accounts from family members and close friends paint a picture of a much more vulnerable person than his carefree and cheerful exterior suggested. The lack of a safe space to be himself, to confront his true feelings, likely led him to isolate himself emotionally. Furthermore, there are indications of career dissatisfaction. Despite being a major star, Johnson was often typecast in roles as the nice guy, war hero, or lovable romantic lead. He longed to challenge himself with more complex, psychologically deep roles, but the studios weren't willing to risk changing his already highly successful image. This artistic constraint, along with feeling typecast and not fully recognized for his acting talent, could also have caused a quiet disappointment and dissatisfaction within him. These hidden depths are not just simple personal secrets. They are direct consequences of an era where differences were stigmatized, where social norms were suffocatingly restrictive, and where the privacy of celebrities was shamelessly stripped away. Van Johnson's life, through these revelations, becomes a poignant and powerful testament to the price many stars had to pay, not just with their personal happiness, but sometimes with their very selves, to maintain their place in a harsh and conservative system. What's being revealed doesn't just tell the story of a famous man, but also offers a deep look into the invisible pressures and silent sacrifices behind the bright lights of Hollywood. The source. of the revelation. The exposure of Van Johnson's personal hidden depths wasn't the result of a single event, but rather a prolonged process driven by changing times and new discoveries from various sources. First and foremost is the emergence of new biographical works and academic research. Decades after Johnson's death, biographers gained deeper access to archives, including personal correspondence diaries, family documents, and previously sealed or private studio records. Books like Long Ride to Nowhere by Robert L. Piron, 2001, and Van Johnson, MGM's Golden Boy by Ronald L. Davis, 2001, though published during Johnson's lifetime, began to hint at details of his private life, raising questions about the authenticity of his public image. Later, more in-depth research and articles based on previously unreleased evidence confirmed and expanded upon these suspicions, especially regarding his sexual orientation. Second, interviews with living witnesses played an incredibly crucial role. After Johnson's death, and as those close to him grew older or were no longer under pressure from studios, many became willing to share more openly. Most notable were the revelations from Eve Abbott herself, his ex-wife. In her later years, she gave interviews and provided detailed information about their arranged marriage, confirming its non-sexual nature and MGM's role in orchestrating it. Direct accounts from such a close source carry immense weight, helping to solidify and validate rumors that had long circulated behind the scenes in Hollywood. Additionally, discoveries from archival materials contributed significantly. Sometimes unsent personal letters, internal studio memos, or even rare interview recordings were found and made public. These documents provide concrete, undeniable evidence of efforts to conceal the truth and the pressures Johnson faced. They helped researchers piece together a more comprehensive and accurate picture of his life. Finally, the changing social norms cannot be overlooked. In the past, issues like homosexuality or mental health were often stigmatized and hidden. However, with societal progress increasing acceptance of minority communities and greater awareness of psychological well-being, the public and researchers can now approach and reevaluate the lives of historical figures in a more open, honest, and humane way. This allows stories like Van Johnson's to be fully told, no longer distorted or concealed by the prejudices of the era. These factors collectively created a wave of new revelations, helping us better understand the real Van Johnson and the silent struggles he endured throughout his life. In today's society, which is much more open about issues like sexual orientation and mental health, the unveiling of Johnson's hidden depths also carries an important message. It emphasizes the importance of acceptance and tolerance, and serves as a reminder of the long-lasting consequences of stigma and concealment. Van Johnson's life isn't just an entertaining story. It's a profound historical lesson about people, fame, and truth. We hope this article has given you a deeper and more multifaceted look at one of Hollywood's great stars. Keep following us to discover more fascinating and inspiring stories about legendary figures.